Whoa.
What you put me on this time of morning? You're going to scare everybody.
I don't think they'll be sitting out there for me. I don't think so, though. But you know, you've grown the old skinny beard bit, haven't you?
Yeah, it's part of the great plan football combination.
You're the second coffee and back. Oh my God. Listen, girl, I haven't even had a coffee. The thing is, if it wasn't for my daughter, I sent her a long text last night. But if it wasn't for my daughter, I think I would have fallen asleep. Because she had to go to school, and she came in to say, "Bye, Dad." And I was like, oh my God, if she's saying bye, yeah, if she's saying bye, that means that 8:15 is gone. Good morning. How are we? Wednesday. We're off to a good start. Morning, peeps, says Paul. Morning, says Sandy. How are you getting on, Sandy? You all right, girl? Hope you're feeling better. I really do. I genuinely hope you're feeling better this morning. Wednesday blessings, Jules. Wednesday blessings, everyone. Wednesday blessings. Good morning, Claire. All of you guys up, man. I must admit I was up, but I was still a bit rushed, funnily enough. I wasn't expecting to be. I thought I was on top of stuff, and then you realise you're a little bit behind. I must look a bit fuzzy. Do I look a bit fuzzy, or is it my eyes are starting to age, getting in the way of my eyesight? I've got a feeling it's a combination, to be honest with you. Combination of stuff, innit? Oh my God. So, it's Wednesday, middle of the week day. Middle of the week day, man. When any and everything can happen. Evergreen, how you doing, babes? Evergreen. Evergreen. Morning, Dana. No, Denise. You know why I said Madonna, innit? Because Judy put some love hearts to Donna out there, innit? Women can do that, you know. No, women can actually compliment each other and stuff, innit? They can go, morning. Brothers, we can't do that at all, man. We get slammed. We get called all sorts. So yes, you look fuzzy. Clean the camera and shut some things. You know what? There's nothing really open. There's nothing really open. I'm wondering where that fuzziness is coming from. Been trying to work it out. Let me give you a little clean. Icky. Is that a bit clearer? It is actually, isn't it? It is actually a bit clearer. Right. Yeah, it actually is a bit clearer, which is a good thing. Morning, Liz. How you doing, babes? You all right? Foregone, yes. Listening in as always. Listening in while she's mucking out. Hey? Mucking out and listening at the same time. That's good. That's good. That's what you call multitasking, isn't it? That's what you call multitasking. So the Greg Clark. Have you guys heard about Greg Clark? Anybody heard about Greg Clark? Tell me you've heard about Greg Clark. Come on, tell me you've heard about Greg Clark. Morning, says Natural Mystic. Morning. You're a steam up the screen with your breath. Are you saying that I got bad breath? Are you saying I got bad breath, girl? Now, I know I got bad breath, to be honest with you. I got smoker's breath, innit? I got smoker's breath. It's horrible, I know. I know some people, theirs is so sensitive that if a smoker walks into the room, they can smell them. Much clearer, Rudy. Thank you, Donna. I was wondering why it was fuzzy. I honestly thought it was my eyesight was going, but oh God. Just be calm. Oh my God. Who's Greg? Okay, so Greg Clark, he was the boss of the FA, and he's had to quit. Trevor, no doubt you've heard about him. Morning, people. He's had to quit because there were certain things that he, as leader of the FA, was saying about black players. He was basically kind of like saying that we should be happy with where we are, even though there shouldn't be chanting and stuff like that going on the pitch, you know, and throwing bananas. But he used the word coloured, and it's now seen as being deeply offensive. If somebody called you coloured, would you be offended? Would you be offended if somebody actually called you a coloured person? Mm? Would you be offended by that? Thanks, D. Look at you lot just patting each other on the back. Thanks, D. Would you be offended if somebody called you coloured? Because at first, back in the day, it never used to bother me until I realised what people were actually saying to me when they were calling me coloured or when they were just calling me black. Morning, Rudy, guys and gals. Oh, someone was talking about sexy lingerie last night. Naughty girl, naughty girl. Naughty, naughty Spice. I caught you in the room. Naughty, naughty Spice. I caught you in the room. Oh, no wonder me now know him. Cause in a football. But okay, coloured. Yes, I would. Me look like rainbow. Me look like rainbow to you. How dare you call me coloured? Do I look like a rainbow? I like nobody call me coloured, you know, because me not come like no chameleon, no. It's one state me have. Hello. Greg Clark made some comments about women, Asians, and black people that he wasn't even asked to make. True. He made comments. He did make some comments. He did make some comments. But he did something, even to me, he did something bigger than that. Because he is the head of the FCA. Or should I say was the head of the FCA. Because he no longer is. He no longer is. Coloured. Greg Clark, coloured, sorry. I would be offended. Perfect black, as that is the depiction of all colours. The term coloured has negative connotations. True. Can't deny that. Can't deny that. It does have negative connotations. So Judy would be offended. Everine would be offended. I saw you, Claire. And once again, you're asking who is Greg? Okay. Once again, you're asking who is Greg? He is the head of the FCA, the Football Association. So he's the person who governs, who's at the top of the tree when it comes to running the organization. And his attitudes and his beliefs affects the whole system. So the way in which people are treated is dictated by him, by his views. The word black has negative connotations too, though. Black male, black ball, etc., etc., etc. True, true. Because the thing is that black isn't even. It takes you back to a place that we don't really want to be perceived to be in anymore. No, Rudy, I'm responding to Nize's Dotty Gal comment. Oh, sorry, babes. Dotty Gal, I missed that, you know. Oh, you're talking about I know what you're talking about. You're talking about spicy, and it's spicy, you know, the after dark. Yes. I heard the questions last night in the after dark. Oh my god. It was something else, I must admit. But yeah, I mean, for this man to be saying the things that he was saying was absolutely ridiculous. His words were divisive, and it was a disservice to football, without a shadow of a doubt. He also apparently said that gay is making a lifetime choice. It's a choice, a life choice. Is being gay a life choice? A life choice? Is it? I know I have my opinions on it, to be honest with you. But now I sit on the fence, on that one there. But now I sit on the fence. Is it a choice? I mean, the guy is what I would call old guard. He is the guy at the top. It's like there are so many of men like this sitting on the top of organizations. And the truth of the matter is they don't even see themselves as having racist views or opinions, especially when they make decisions that affect an entire race. That's when you start to get discrimination. That's how you get discrimination, when somebody has views like that and they're sitting at the top of an organization and they make decisions that people have to follow based on the way that they think. And everybody else has to fall into line. It's just like Sainsbury's, the chairman of Sainsbury's deciding that he's going to wear a mask, and then he sends it down the tube, the line, that everybody has to wear a mask. And so everybody in the shop has to wear the mask because he's decided that they're going to wear a mask. Because that's the kind of control a man at the top has, and it influences and affects everybody. Because at first, when I heard Greg talking about, I heard bits and pieces of him on TV at first, and he mentioned the word coloured, and then he was talking about how offensive it is for players having to put up with racial remarks being thrown at them, not on the pitch, but through social media. And I thought, oh, this guy's all right. You know what I mean? All right, so he used the term coloured, but so what? And then I had to go in deeper, until you find and get to the substance of the man, and then realizing that his views date from donkeys, from way back. I think it's a case of cutting off the head of the snake, because the man is like a snake. Head guts to go. Greg Clark is an arsehole. A man in his position should have known better, especially in this day and age. Which is why I'm saying maybe he's too old for the post. He's too old for the post. I mean, he was okay for back in the day when the Windrush just arrived. Yeah. And it was almost like he was like, we should be happy with the fact that we are playing football, the fact that we are a part of society, but not the fact that we're at the top, because obviously not many Afro-Caribbeans like working in IT. That's why we get the Asians to do it. You know, that's an assumption on his part. That's why we get the Asians to do it, because they like doing that kind of like thing. Yeah. Not the fact that people have virtual PAs that they pay little or nothing who come from Asia, because those people are easily exploited, especially when you consider the kind of education that they have got. Some of them, their education is higher than ours, those virtual PAs, who are willing to sit down on some pavement with a little laptop and do your work on your behalf, whether it be your accounts, whether it be something that you've dictated and you want it typed out. Colored, I would be offended. Prefer black, as that is a depiction of all colors. Okay, I think the comments have moved on. Sorry about that. Yep. Mum used colored all the time. It irked me. If someone else said it now, I would have to correct them. Back in the day, I would tell white people they were more colored than me, as them changed with the situation. Now I just correct. I hear that. It used to be one of my jokes, actually. Especially when you get people laughing, and I go, "Look at you! You're laughing so hard, man. You've gone from milk bottle white to pink to creamy white and pink mixed together, and then you call me coloured." I used to get a big laugh out of that. The word black is negative connotations too, though. Yes. Sorry. Well, how comes these comments keep bouncing back? Oh, here we go. I'm not bothered. I know I am and wouldn't find it offensive, although prefer the word black. Okay. That's true. I can understand that you can feel confident within yourself and what have you. And the fact that you know you are, which of course is the most important thing, because you shouldn't allow people to label you. You should label yourself. Yeah, I get that. I do get that. I have no opinion on gay people, as everyone is free to be who they want to be. But this man using the term coloured after so much awareness about Black lives recently, there's no excuse. He should have been reading the newspaper for real. But you can't. This is my thing. He can't help being who he is. He is who he is, and therefore his opinions are gonna come from where he's coming from, and the way that he was brought up, and the way that he thinks. You know what I mean? But to have no opinion on gay people, to have no opinion, you have no opinion on gay people. Your opinion is everyone is free to be who they want to be. That's your opinion. You know what I mean? Because you kind of like sidestep that, if you ask me. But never mind. I think the choice thing was taken out of context. However, he needs to censor himself in this day and age. He is old, and some old British people are really stuck in their ways. I think that's where the issue is. Is that there are people who especially in positions of power, who think the way that they do, not realizing just how much things have changed or just how much things have moved on. I mean, he's still looking at it in terms of, oh, these people have just come over here to do jobs that we wouldn't do. Not these people that now have children who live here, who actually want to be a part of society, who actually want to be promoted, who actually want to have an affluent lifestyle, who are not prepared to just accept the minimum wage. You know, but he feels, obviously he's going to feel, he himself will feel threatened if he saw someone younger and a person from a different nationality making their way to his job. Because it's all about survival in that sense. Then it becomes survival, isn't it? You know, when you delete a comment, it don't damn delete. Is it now? Well, don't worry, man. We can read in between the lines. Don't worry, man. But you didn't say nothing that was out of order. I don't think you said anything that was out of order, or nothing that. I don't think anything is out of order. I think, like was said earlier on, everyone's free to think the way that they do. I think that the term freedom of expression, you know, or freedom of speech is a nonsense, because it doesn't really exist anymore. because people are walking on eggshells, you know. And I guess for Greg Clark, he must be feeling it more so, because obviously he felt he said nothing wrong. Because he stopped. He was asked if he called people of African but Caribbean descent coloured, and he stopped. He goes, could you just say yes or no? And he went, let me just a couple of words, and that he went, no, just say yes or no. Just say yes or no. And then he went, well, back in the day, yeah, when I was in America, the way that the Americans wanted to be termed, they wanted us to call them coloured, so that's why I used the word colour. So that says that, well, he was coming from a place where he was saying to himself, well, these people have told me it's okay, so it should be okay to say it. You know, because I do believe that intent is important. I believe that intent is important when somebody says something, you know, and you have to kind of go, right, where are they coming from when they say the things that they say? What do they mean by it? What is their intent? Are they looking to hold down a set of people, or is their perception of those people of a lower standard? And to me, for him, it's about his perception of anybody who isn't British and white. But then at the same time, then should not white people feel offended that they are called white? Should they feel offended then? If people of color are saying we don't like being called people of color, what about white people? Should we be allowed to say white people? Is that not a double standard in that respect? Because clearly they're not white. They're not white either, are they? But then that was me just now giving my opinion. Lobster. That's funny. That's funny. I went tan, then red like lobster. Booty Shirley, booty bags, booty everyone. Yeah? Because they're again, like, you know, they've come red like lobster. So the comparison of them being like lobsters, you know, could they take offense to that? Are we becoming too touchy-feely about certain things? Or does it actually depend on who is saying it and why they're saying it and the context in which it's being said? That's why for me, context has to be everything. Has to be everything. Eh? The most important thing is the position that Greg holds, man. Greg Clark, the position that he holds. Because now we move on, we start talking about institutionalized. We start talking about systemic. That's why I mentioned the head of a snake. Where is it coming from? It's right at the top. And it's right at the top of every single institution and every single board that these views are held by the old guard, unfortunately. And then again, the question is, when do you become old guard? At what age do you become old guard? And at what age do you hand that kind of responsibility over to somebody else who, yes, is younger, or who they would say is more in touch with society as it evolves and as it changes? Because you can't forget that the older heads are wiser heads. You know, but when do their opinions and their views, you know, become so outdated that you have to forget what they might have said? I mean, look, I mean, the head of America at the moment is Biden. Biden looked like he's ready for collapse any minute. Isn't it? Biden looks like he's going to dribble and fall on the button accidentally. In fact, he might even forget. Dementia could all just kick in. And he's like, what's this red thing? What's this red? What's this red? So I press the red thing. What's this red thing? I don't know what this red thing is. I don't know. It's got button on it and it's red. Next, you know, only if a nuclear bomb start go off the car, Biden forgets him around the world. Yeah, you got an old man running the world. What about his views? His views, I would assume, are bathed in racism. Not racism, in racist views, sorry. Bathed in it. And not deliberately so, it's because of the way that he was brought up, because of the things that he heard. Because of the way he saw people were being treated, the way that his parents most really spoke to him. Yeah. I mean, have we reached a point now where, in truth, there should be more people of different nationalities on any given institutional board, committee, governing councils? Has society reached that point now where it's really unacceptable to have a cabinet just full of grey people? And maybe, and then again, is it fair to say that the majority of people who reside in the UK are English, Anglo-Saxons, and as such, they would be the dominant numbers in any given cabinet? African Caribbeans represent about, what, 0.3 of the population? $365 MPs. So should there be 3% of them should be a representation of MPs in the UK? They say right person for the job, but we would be outnumbered in that respect. Or I mean, at least people from my extraction would be. Even I have to think about. Funnily enough, even just talking now, it's like I'm jumping around in my head, looking for the right word before it actually comes out my mouth. Should I be dancing around like that, or should I be free to just express and say what I say? I think freedom of speech comes with a sense of responsibility, and depending on how much you are paid, and the job that you do dictates how eloquent you should be when you're opening your mouth. The term white to define people of European extraction was chosen by them. This is 1649 Maryland, for the purpose of miscegenation laws. Okay, that's interesting. So this was chosen. That's very interesting. Thank you, Kevin. That I never knew. I never knew where that term came from. That's extremely interesting. Me late. You're always late. Shut up, man. You're always late. Rudi, if Biden dropped down dead, then a black woman will be in power. Yeah, then everybody's going to get licks, innit? Everybody's going to get shouted at. Take the patty from underneath the bed. Take the patty from underneath the bed. You want me to give you something for cry about? That's a typical black woman, isn't it? Especially when she has children. Never like them terms. Never like them terms, coloured. Although we are different shades. Should they call us shady people? Interested. Should they call us shady people? I think this is the biggie for me, though. That's a big one. White people are a people of colour. Fact. I'm feeling that. Have white people ever said them do not want to be called white? It's their term. Them did come up with it. I hear you. I've learned something. 1649. I've learned something. So that's the thing about the fact that the whole world is kind of Europeanized in that sense. That we're very much dictated to by the language that we speak, because we don't speak our own language. The constructs of everything that we do is based around European ideology. Everything we do is constructed about European ideology. The laws that govern us, the judicial system, the financial system. I think those are the main two when I think about it. You know, how much of a say do other nationalities have in the way in which the world develops and the world is run? Now we're going even higher. We're going past the FCA. We're going past him. We're going past the government now. We're going past all of that. We're going to the top. Because now when we're sitting at the top, who do we see? Who do we see controlling the world? Who do we see making up the laws? You know. Yeah, we could quite easily link this to COVID if we choose to. And who's making and pulling the strings on that? We can get to the word eugenics even if we keep going. Attach that word to systems even. Then we can also start talking about gay being a choice, or whether or not it's birth. Because right now I'm watching TV and I see a whole heap of heterosexual kissing going on, whole heap of lesbian thing going on. If that was in the African nation and the Africans were, should we say, running the world, based on what I said earlier on, would we be seeing that on TV? If the Arabs were running the world, would we be seeing that on TV? Interesting, isn't it? We've gone from someone who talks smack to this one who has his affiliations with the KKK. I like that. BJ will have to follow his USA, smile, obedient cousin. Okay. But then the thing is, I've always seen the UK as like a little Jack Russell standing next to an Alsatian when it came to America. And just so that the little Jack Russell doesn't get bitten, he does what the Alsatian tells him to do. You dip on your meds. Oh, God. If you want true representation of the world we live in, then yes, this should be mirrored in all government and companies. How will you be able to overstand all the people you are trying to govern, rule, or hire? Now we start talking about white supremacy. Because that's the assumption, isn't it? Because even when we talk about school examinations, when we're talking about GCSEs, whether we're talking about A-levels, whether it doesn't really matter, who sets the standard? Who actually sets the standard? From whose perspective? I'll never forget once I went to I remember it was way back in the day, man, when I had to go job center and stuff like that, and you had to go job club. And there was this Somalian guy, and he was telling the person who was talking to us and everything, that he had all these qualifications. This guy was over flooding with qualifications. And my girl just turned around to him and goes, well, they don't mean nothing. You could have been able to go to the moon and come back, but if they're not certified by us, they don't mean nothing. And I was so shocked. I was like, but this man is overqualified for what he's talking about, and he shouldn't even be here. As far as I'm concerned. He should definitely be in a job. He should definitely be in a position to do what he was saying that he was qualified to do. But she just said, well, your qualifications are not recognized here. It's got to be passed by our standard. We set the standard. We're the ones who set the standard. We're the ones who say whether or not your qualification is any good. That's why I say it's like the whole entire world system would have to be revamped. Would need to be revamped. Stranger, how you doing? Good to see ya. How's the kidney hanging in there? I hope it's doing well. Noise. Yes, Paul. Yes, Paul. Yes, Paul. Did you catch Paul's interview on Wednesday? He was showing us his big, thick legs. All good, thanks, Nige. Nigel's all right. Mystic Meg. I'm calling you Mystic Meg. Natural Mystic is bouncing back. Here enough. Well, bounce back enough. Now bounce back enough. Now bounce back enough. Now bounce back.
Paddy with an EPADD-E is back. Guess where I'm off to tonight? I'm off to the dogs. Gonna meet my Tracy there. Oh, can't wait. It's gonna be a lovely 3-course meal. Little bit of rice and little bit of bedding. As Barbara. Yeah, on halfway, in between. Halfway. Yep, fine. Yep. Get on the nose. Spread the bed. Yeah, I know, my mum used to work in a betting shop, do you know what I mean? Like, so I'm good. Anyway, gonna catch you lot later. Gonna go and do some shopping. My eye look twist up like that. This one, yeah, so like, look, why is it going over there? That's random.
Your eye look twist up, innit? And why is it going, my eye look twist up over there? Most funniest person I've ever interviewed in a long time. I've spoken to in a long time. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I don't know if you guys missed Wednesday night with, not Wednesday, it was Monday night, when I spoke to Paul Walsh and Natural Mystic, as she's now calling herself today. This girl, how many names you got, man? You can't just stick to the one name. Eh? But she's funny. Definitely funny. We live in an enlightened country. It's not perfect, but it's better than most with regards to respect and individual rights. I think that's lip service, actually. I think that's lip service. We appear to. I think we appear to. But underneath the surface, we're not. Underneath the surface, we're not. You know, I mean, the whole... when I look at advertising today and I see the mixed race couples, I see the homosexual couples, I see to me, that's all surface stuff. I think that's all just to appease. As well as I think there's agendas behind it. But I think it's also being in a rock and a hard place because it's difficult to please the people. You can't please all the people all the time, so to speak. You know, there should be, just people should just be civil, I think. You know, and yes, the world is changing, and yes, we do have to be acceptable of the choices that people make around us. You know, when I'm specifically referring to homosexuals and gays in that respect, we do have to be respectful of it. Then it becomes a case of, well, because we know who the laws are being made by and how we're being governed, and we're being governed by racist, sexist, homophobic people anyway. But then at the same time, some of these people are not heterosexuals. Some of them are debauched. You know, some of them are involved in societies where you got to do things in order to get into those societies that you wouldn't even believe, or lie down in coffins, or sleep with men, or, you know, some nastiness that will go beyond our imagination. You know, when people used to talk about the Illuminati and all that, and then we're, oh, you're chatting rubbish, you're chatting this, conspiracy theories and blah, 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 to deflect you from what nastiness some of these people do really get up to. Them are the kind of people who's running the world. You know? And it's all coming out of just a conversation about Greg Clark, a man at the top with views that date back to the what? He was mostly born in the, what I would say, what, 40s? Maybe 50s? Possibly 40s, you know? I totally agree. Okay, you agree with Paul. I hear you, which is fine. The kidney's going well. We're all glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Qualifications. International qualifications are definitely lesser valued by UK standards, even though we don't have the best educational system. We're not even close to having the best educational system. Because to me, it's not like they don't want to accept it. Not that they want to accept it, they don't want to tell everybody where their educational system come from in the first place. You know, if we go back to Timbuktu, where we know there was a university long before Cambridge and Oxford, but that ain't taught. And therefore, the education doesn't become world education in that sense, global education. Because when Britannia was ruling the waves, so to speak, that's when they made their frigging mark, mate. I mean, business is done in the language of Brits, English. Therefore, they can make up a new word tomorrow, put it in the dictionary. That's that. Change up everything. Every time we used to watch those, remember we used to watch those films, the Cowboys and Indians, and they used to say white man talk with forked tongue because he kept on moving the goalpost all the time. On Monday, Paul was on Monday, Rudy. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. And we met Stingo, his alter ego. He did a bit of stand-up. He did a bit. So you missed it, did you? Oh, you poor thing. Here, have a look.
Stingo's not my real name. I'm in witness protection scheme. I have a choice of 4 names. Sanjay Patel, Abby Cohen, some Polish one I couldn't spell, or this one. Anyway, I ended up here tonight. I was walking past and he said, do you want to win some money? I said, I'm not that sort of girl. So I come from a tough part of town. I come from Harleston, northwest London. Very much like Brixton, but without the good PR.
See, so you can't say I don't help people along their route, along their way. Yeah, but you missed him, man. He was on Monday. Him and Leisha. Even though she's not calling herself Leisha today, that's that. Call herself Natural Mystic. Leisha is hard to pronounce, so Natural Mystic, aka Ladybug. She calls herself Ladybug as well. She calls herself Ladybug with good reason too. Anybody who's been watching some of the promos that's been going out, where you see this little bug dancing. The other bees, I slap your knees. She's a nutter. She really is a nut. I've enjoyed more this morning more than you guys. I know. I'm sorry. Stop playing. Oh dear. Juicy Jews. That is so very true. The British educational system is poor compared to other countries. It's damn disgusting, mate. It's damn disgusting. Because there's talk now, especially in where is it? I got it here in Wales, where they're actually thinking about scrapping this year's exams because of what happened with COVID. They don't feel it's going to be fair on the kids. But then those kids are going to be that's a whole generation of kids who have lost out because of this goddamn thing. And I think they were behind anyway, because when they've changed up the marking system. I don't know if any of you, if you've got children who've been going been to secondary school over the past maybe 3 or 4 years. I think it's about it might be 3 or 4 years, where they changed up the way in which the system in which they mark you now. It's no longer A, B, C. It's like it's almost like they've taken A, and then within A there's different categories of A. So there's there's like A, and there's A1, A2, A3, A4, for example. So if you get an A star, it might be an A4 star or an A3 star, or it's like they just cut it all up and they categorized it differently. And the reason I think the reason why they did that is because we are so far behind everybody else, and they didn't know what else to do. But the whole way they mark everything now is just changed. It's hard to understand. And what I had to do was, in order to get my daughter to understand just exactly how far she was behind, was I had to get that system that they now have and put it next to the system that we used to have. And then when they gave her a mark, try to show her where that mark was in comparison to. So if they might say that you got a 3G, and I go to that 3G, is an F. But they will tell her that she's doing really well, because if she gets a 3B, right, that means that she's improved. And I goes, no, you haven't really come out of that category at all. Not that I'm saying that she's down there in any way. I'm just as an example, the best way that I can in such a short space of time when I'm thinking about it. There is a glass ceiling. Race and class are kept down. Yes. Race and class are kept down. Yeah, but this is what I can say from where I'm seated, right? Is that you would be classed over me. You would be classed over me, Paul. Yeah, because the race comes first. That's the perception it is. Then the class comes afterwards. So yes, you have working class, and within the working class, there are different races. And it has always been, and it still is, that the African race is at the bottom of it. And it doesn't really make any sense when you consider that everything comes from the African race initially. And even then, it's to say race is quite poor, because we're one race. But everything has been segmentized. Everything from race to class, from color, even into color, because even within the black community, we have different shades of color. And therefore the perception, for example, of beauty can be skin. That's why they call it skin deep. So the glass ceiling of race and class are kept down there. I mean, everybody is suppressed. But what the pandemic has shown is that everybody is pushed into the whole in the whole one bucket, and that's why I used the word eugenics earlier on. Larry is saying that's Britain trying to hold on to that great standard. I think qualification should be of universal standard. many qualifications in this country actually fall below par of those in other countries. It's way below, because that's what I'm saying. When I had to go and do that comparison for my daughter and I sat her down, I literally went for looked at qualifications around the world and then put them down in comparison. So every time she messes up or she gives me frigging jip, I go, just remember, you're not competing with those people in the classroom, You ain't competing with those people. Never mind them lot. In fact, you're not even competing with them. Never mind the people in your borough. You're not even think that you're competing with them. Because at the end of the day, when you pick up your phone, yeah, you can talk to somebody in Japan. You can talk to somebody in Singapore. You're competing with people around the world. So when you think about getting your qualifications, know that this is who you're up against, not the people in your class who you want to sit down there and chat and play around with. Yeah, or you want to compare yourself to your little matey sitting next to you. Because your matey sitting next to you might have 2 marks above you. But listen, those 2 marks above you means that your matey is still below average. And the both of you are seen as being average. I mean, we've done some, I've done some interviews with Keep It Real, where people have spoken about going to boarding school, as well as we've played a couple of games on Saturday morning where we've had poets talk about what it is to go to private school and just how different the education that they get or that they are taught compared to going to comprehensive school. There's a big gulf in between, a massive gulf in between the way they are taught and what they are taught. And the difference is that those people who went to those schools wanted to go to those schools. At first, they were fighting it. There was a poet who came from St. Raffles Estate. His name is George the Poet, I think it is. And he spoke about having to go to Barnet. And first of all, he did everything he could possibly do to get suspended, to get expelled, so that he can come back to the St. Raffles Estate and mess around with his mateys. And then when he started to open himself up to being educated, he was looking forward to it. He started to look forward. It opened up a whole new world, because comprehensive school only prepares you for menial tasks. It just prepares you to be told what to do. Because it's almost like the last thing that the educational system wants to do is to teach you how to think. It doesn't teach you how to do for self. It's like you have to learn how to do for self later on in life. By that time, you're already trapped in the mortgage trap of 25 years in order to pay for your household, in order to maintain having food on your table. And therefore, it seems like a big struggle in order to get out of that cycle, because if you're not maintaining the payments that you need for your abode, it's going to be taken away. You're going to be put out on the street. So you have to take whatever jobs comes to you. But what is also interesting in the some of the interviews that we've had in Keeping It Real was the way in which a lot of the interviewees navigated doing their 9 to 5, studying harder, taking up additional courses, which allowed them to step outside of that laborious job that they was doing. Or even taking the chance, not even taking the chance, but believing in oneself that passionately there were other things that they really wanted to do, and being self-employed and going out and doing those things was one of the most important things to do them. Classic example is Leary in that case. It's been quite an interesting talking this morning, actually. Okay, I understand that. I don't understand the new grade system. It's too complicated and difficult to compare with the older grades. That was the problem that I had, Paul, because they don't want you to. They don't want you to, because once you break through that and you can see, then you realize just exactly how low the British standard is. That was deliberate. That was totally deliberate, because I think it took them 2 years to work out how they were going to do it. They don't want you to see. They don't want nobody to see in Britain just exactly how far behind we really are. Just how awoke everybody is around the world. This is an interesting one, but we are not at the bottom. We are actually outperforming in schools. But after education, the real ceiling hits us more. That's when we hit the institutional systemic system to suppress and keep us down. That's what happens there. Because that was deliberately designed so to suppress and keep us there. There was a post that I put up. Not that I put up. There was a post that I showed a while back, and some people may have thought that at the time that I put it up, where I put this up for, people were more moaning about the fact that they couldn't see rather than what the man was actually saying. I remember. I haven't forgotten. I remember that there were comments that was coming up, and I wasn't taken aback, right? But I clearly understood that people didn't really get what I was saying. There have been systems that's been put in place so that the moment you leave school, right, you are suppressed. Systems deliberately put there so. Because of the fear that people have. Because in truth, the African race should not, the African, see, I've got to choose my words, but you understand what I mean by the African race should not be, there's no way that it should be at the bottom. It makes no sense them being at the bottom. Let me see if I can find this thing. Oh, it's saying to me that it's too big. Okay. I'm gonna show it to you guys again, and maybe this time, it might actually make more sense. No, I can't do it that way. It might just make more sense. If I was a boy. Right, let me just give me 2 minutes, yeah? Okay. If I was a boy. Okay.
We will not allow sub-Saharan Africa to escape that. Okay, we do everything to keep sub-Saharan Africa where it is, also impoverished. It's absolutely vital for the prosperity of everyone else. So let's get clear about that. Okay, and this means all the economic structures, all the global institutions, and the economics we teach everyone is all designed to keep Africa exactly where it is. And whether it is Europe or US or now China, it's always the same. We need Africa to be impoverished because we need those raw materials and we need them dirt cheap. Okay, so that's the message. It doesn't mean to say that there's nothing Africans can do. Of course there is. Okay, but this is the opposition that they're finding. This is what it's about. Because if Africa does do something different, I assure you, living standards of all those in Europe and North America and Asia is going to fall. Okay? And that is a big price to pay. I assure you that the West is not going to allow that without a big fight. Okay, so this is what it's fundamentally.
Do you remember that? Do you remember the?
What I
Remember
want
me
to show
putting that up?
you is how these structures are operating.
I did put that up, and I think people heard 20 minutes, and a lot of people disappeared, which was fine because I wasn't able to build up to it. Which was fine because I was not able to build up to it. But quite clearly, everything is by design. Everything is by design. You know, that's another interesting one. I used to think Timbuktu was made up when I was little. Yeah, because my mum used to say, "I'm going to lick you from here to Timbuktu," and I go, "Don't lick me from here to Timbuktu. No, I don't want to go." No. I thought Timbuktu was a horrible place, not realizing that Timbuktu was one of the first universities on the planet. They were talking about cosmology way before they had it written, because you wouldn't assume that the assumption is that the Africans do not have written language. A result of the limitations of the educational system. Okay, yo, shush. Have a blessed day. Who's going? Oh, Kaz got to go. Laters, Kaz. Sorry, I might have missed that, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Yeah, but I mean, where are we? Yes, we were led to believe that for a reason, just like we were led to believe Egypt was not in Africa. We were led to believe. People still are led to believe. Just have to go to the British Museum to know that. How can you have on the first floor the whole of Egyptian artifacts in the British Museum, and then deep on the corner you've got, oh look, Africa, and Africa's downstairs? Rude and out of order. Oh, it's part of the Middle East. No, it is not. You can see that it is part of the continent. I used to think that Egypt was a totally different place. No idea. Well upset when I found out. Not I found out, when I came to the realization. I didn't find out. It was coming to that realization. We've been robbed of our history. Thank God we can research and educate ourselves. The entire world has been robbed. Not just the Africans as a people, the entire world has been robbed. Because of people like Greg Clark. Because of people like Greg Clark. Because of white supremacy. Eh? And even then, I will go back and say because of 1649, where white people decide to call themselves white. They didn't have to call themselves white. They could have called themselves human beings. We are all human beings, because that segregates. Okay, what do exams prove? That I remember the info on the day. After that, little is used in life. Reading, writing, arithmetic. Fourth R is research. Well, I think there is a place for exams, to be honest. And I do believe that it is about memory, but I think it's also a choice of what are you interested in, especially when you can read, write, and do arithmetic. Is what are you interested in? What is your chosen field? How well do you know that field? For you to become an expert in it, because we're not all going to be experts in everything. We're going to all have chosen path. We're going to all have different paths. And how do you know when you've reached a position of not excellence? That's not the right word, but a position of competence. How do you know? How do you measure that? I think there is a place for exams. I honestly do believe there is a place. I think everybody needs to be measured in some way or some form or some manner. But the thing is, what is being taught is, to me, is as important, if not more so important. What is being taught? Why is it being taught? Why are people not taught finance at an early age? Why are they not taught about how to save? Why are they not taught about how to run a business? Why are they not taught these things? Because remember, fundamentally, there are only 3 things that you need for a business, and you need to just understand those things, those areas, which is what sort of capital items are you going to need? What sort of system would you need to run in terms of to have the personnel do the things that you need to do? And then what sort of cash do you need to have behind that? And how do you handle cash? What is good credit and what is bad credit? What does credit really mean? What is debt? What is good debt? What is bad debt? All of these areas you will learn if you go to grammar school. I mean, I could set up a business. My issue was I didn't understand how to manage systems. I wasn't a coordinator. Didn't know about filing and all those kind of like things. You know. And we can all specialize in certain areas. Some people are good with managing people. Some people are good with just managing systems. That's why some accountants, as much as they're boring, they don't mind sitting down there writing figures and, you know, working out those kind of things. It depends what type of mind you've got. What's being said here? New marking system is crazy. It's all about numbers games, not education. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, the school will get X amount of money depending on how well people do in their exams. Paul, I don't understand the new grade system. It's too complicated and difficult to compare with other older grades. Yes, we said that. But we're not at the bottom. Yes, we said, okay, I see that. I see what I know I did. Because I went looking for that thing, innit? Gotta go, Pips. Gotta go. He's wised up. NAS produced a report indicating that the dumbing down of children is deliberate. Wow, I hear that. 4th R research, very good. Good debt is assets, excellent. Top marks, girl. Top marks. Okay. I think I have more than done my time this morning. It's been a good one. It's been a good one, people. I gotta say it's been a good one. Really enjoyed this morning. I hope you did too. I hope you will come and check me out later on. Anything Goes with DJ Countryman and Rudi Lickwood. Our special guest this evening is Lady Reed, better known as Miss Two Shoes. So it'd be great if you guys can join me at 10 o'clock. You will find a promo on my page for the show tonight. It starts at 10 o'clock. I'm still waiting for some confirmation of questions that you'd like to be asked. Please do just message me. Don't forget tonight, I need to know what your forfeits are. What forfeits do you have in mind for the person who receives the most red cards at the end of this month? Okay, so do that for me. But I think more importantly, I would say to you guys is have a good day.
Oh, whoa. What you put me on this time of morning? You're going to scare everybody.
I don't think they'll be sitting out there for me. I don't think so, though. Thinking, no, you've grown the old skinny beard bit, haven't you?
Thank you. And red card, remember red card.
Paper round. This would give young people plenty of money. Down on the milk round. Remember the milk round?
Yeah, and the reason being is that number one, that the way how things are taught is well beneath the standard of your child. So your child's now having to dumb itself down in that environment.
You look at them and you go, but you're broke. You can't talk to me like that. However, when they ain't broke, you're going to go, oh, okay, babe. All right, then, love.
For. The rest of you are just putting up red flags, man. If you just put up red flags and we don't know who they're for.
Anyway, I don't think you wanted to be on the show tonight. Right.
Our girl children wild more than boy children.
Time I run.
A passenger. We're not interested in passengers tonight, yeah? We want you to get involved. We want to hear what you think. We want to hear what your views are. Do you know what I mean? So get involved. Use the comments, okay? We've got a comment section there, and I'd very much appreciate it if you use it, all right? I'd even appreciate it even more if a couple of you lot, you know what I mean?
Some man take licks regular from that woman. And don't even, I'm frightened to talk about it.
15 minutes with DJ Countryman and Rudi Lickwood. Saturday morning mayhem with two entertainment heavyweights. Join them with interviews.
Online, people are learning more on Facebook than they learn at school these days. So
When I leave the room,
Comedy and quizzes.
you cannot say no, you cannot repeat, you cannot hesitate, and you cannot say mm-mm. If say, "Quit your baby, mother."
Don't feel bad, Anthony, though, because
I don't.
The milkman took her as well. The milkman did take her as well.
The moment I leave the room, the game starts.
You cheat, Ken?
I would never say that. No, I would never say that.
You just said no, I would never say that. I am the champ. Hi. Hello? You said hi twice, goodbye. You said hi 3 times, goodbye.
Sound the butt cover!
I hand the friendship penny because you know how they like their chicken soup and their chicken foot and all.
But that's where you come from, Rudy. You're scared. Hello.
15 minutes with DJ Countryman and Rudi Lickwood mornings. Now I'll be the same again.
Incredible!